So you have been doing music for a while now, correct?
Yes.
See, I just recently started like looking y'all up because I had heard a lot of stories about your father, but I never thought to look y'all up until recently because this essay that I have to do is like sparked an interest. So I'm like, why didn't I do this sooner? And so I think probably the most impressive information out of that I could have found out about any of you, any of like your siblings, it was mostly about you.
Okay.
You own your own radio station, correct? Solstice Radio.
No, so I'm on a radio station called Gas Radio, and what happened was is my brother, his name is Isaac Pace III. He has been in music as well. Like he's a producer, a writer. He's produced for a lot of hip hop and R&B artists. And when Gas Radio came about, they wanted to create different stations that were geared towards a particular genre of music. And so they wanted the soul station to be named after my father. And so that's how we then came into the picture. So the station on that radio is called Pure Soul, powered by Isaac Hayes. And with that, they wanted programming on the station. And so I'm on a show. I have a show called Soul Sisters on Pure Soul. And my co-host is Yana Brown, and her father is James Brown. And so we co-host that show together. And so it's a family. It's basically Isaac Hayes,
So it's
how
like family
Pure Soul,
business.
powered by. I mean, more so, but it's just myself and Yana Brown on the show itself, and then my brother runs it. Isaac runs it.
Yeah, unfortunately, the internet didn't have as much information on this stuff as I wanted. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, you also have your
yeah,
own band as well.
that's a newer thing. It's just we've been doing that for about 6, 7 years maybe, so it's a newer thing. I would say, but so it is called Purify Powered by Isaac Hayes, and the station is just geared for soul music. And that's great. You can get gas in the car. It's like an app, but it's like not like old school terrestrial radio, but you can pull it up anywhere. So yeah. So we do that once. Well, we go live. We do a live show every Tuesday, and then this show plays on Thursday and Saturday. And with that, we have guests on anything from politicians to musicians to reality stars to clergymen. We've had some. We've interviewed Melba Moore. Um, we've done an easy red carpet. So we just do a host of, a lot of different things. So it's really a cool thing to do, actually. And we really connect, because I think back then, like soul music, a lot of times people wrote music based upon what was going on in the world. And so we created topics. We figure out what the topic is, and then we're able to pull from those songs back in that day to connect to the topic that we're speaking about. So it's fun. It's fun. I love it.
And a lot of, I mean, your dad was from the South, but you were raised in Atlanta, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, that's still the South, but yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
still the South, but
It's grown a lot.
like
It's definitely stuff when we moved here. It's just really evolved and grown into a metropolis, but it wasn't always like this.
so, a lot of like blues artists, they're mostly from the South, places like Mississippi, Tennessee, Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
but specifically, usually more it's centered with Memphis and, you know, Mississippi, anywhere. I'm like, apparently I just can't speak today. Okay. Um, so what do you think about that? Because not a lot of people think, oh, where's BB King from? Where was Isaac from? They don't think to look it up. And they think that a lot of people used to think that like places in the South, like Mississippi, didn't produce a lot of famous artists. But the reality is they produced some of the biggest ones that this world will ever know.
Well, I just think that you have to like people need to do their research. If you have chess records, you have all of those big acts, Alan Wolf and all those people from the South, deep South, and they were doing, and there's movies about them. So there's really no excuse for people not to know this information, especially with Google on top of that. But it was very heavy in blues, and which is really, I think, which is really cool that the music that came out of that was kind of a mixture of blues and R&B because it was the South. That's what they were living. And so I think that's why people connected to it so well because it was authentic and organic.
And, not a lot of artists down here are really going big anymore, but I mean, we're still producing the majority of, country music. But there was this
Mhm.
guy at Walmart. He was, I think, taking donations for something. Hold up. Why is this doing this now? Tell me 10 more minutes. Will it?
Because I think you have to put the time in as far as how long. So you have 9 minutes and 39 seconds left in your session. So you might be able to stop and start like you did.
Let's see. It's just it like took it down to like a smaller screen. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I can track that back. Okay, that works. Okay, so I was this guy, he was driving a BMW. They were saying something about going down to Nashville, but they had like mixtapes on them. And so they were like, for any donation, you got a mixtape. And you know, I decided to go and get one. And I was like, I'm not so sure I'm gonna like this, but let me try. And for the most part, most of the songs they were okay. They weren't my style. But I get to this one, and I'm like, okay, this is really good. He's kind of onto something. Maybe in the future, he might become something. And it's like, it's crazy because when you think about it, and he's probably just now starting out with this. But I mean, if he would have, let's see, maybe took the style and the rhythm of that song and then took maybe listened to a couple blues songs on the same topic, meaningful or country songs, took that and used that to write the lyrics and combine the two, maybe then I would have actually liked it. I mean, I liked it, but it's not like, how do I put this? It was good style. He had a good voice. The music behind it was good, but it's just the lyrics weren't for me.
Well, I mean, people, especially if you're starting out, it's going to evolve. It's going to change. Probably, like, it takes people years. So, you know what I mean? And through those years of trial and error, they continue to get better as songwriters and artists. And so, I think that's just part of the process.
But I mean, I think he titled the name of it was like American Gangster or something.
Yeah, like, I mean, but I mean, it's the time we're living into. And I think there's a lot of stuff lacks authenticity because I think that people are trying to emulate what they think will be successful instead of just staying true to themselves and writing what they feel and what they've lived, their lived experiences and so. But it takes time as an artist to do that. And so still basically learn from trial and error.
And a lot like most of the rappers here now, I like rap, but I listen to like one rapper really, but his style's more along the lines of like Eminem, and then he'll go and he'll do opera style vocals in a rap rock song. Like that's and it's crazy, and you think it wouldn't make sense, but it does. And then he'll
But
have an opera
there's no
style
right.
song and end it with like something more like screamo, and it's
But I think when you're creating, there really is no right or wrong way to do things, especially if you're coming from an organic place. It's just kind of what you feel, what you think, and and that's how you come up with really great things. I mean, my dad, when he created songs back then, he was doing pop orchestrations on top of really really R&B stuff, and it just wasn't done before, right? And so I think that as a songwriter and as an artist, you really just got to be true to yourself because there's no right or wrong way. It's whatever connects to people. And I think a lot of times when you are your most authentic self is when you really connect to people.
I mean, people they really like most people today follow like they think that they should like what other people like.
Well, they follow trends,
At least
but
down here where I'm at, it's like everyone likes the same thing, and then they find out what kind of music I listen to, and they're like, and they just give me a
Yeah,
look.
yeah.
That's not what I expected from you. I'm like,
Never know. You never know what. That's the thing. You never know what touches people. We're not one dimensional, and so
right.
you can't. I just think that you can't put people in a box, and you can't put artists in a box.
Have you ever heard of the songwriter Jason Michael Carroll? He wrote the song Alyssa Lies.
No, I have not.
Okay. Well, I might show you that in a bit if we have time, but there was another question I was going to ask. Okay, so what businesses do you own and or run currently?
So right now I have Heather's Entertainment, and I own two bands. One is called Heather's Experience. It's an 11-piece party band, show band. We travel all over the world. We entertain companies, private parties. We actually went to Mexico in like November for like a week. Um, and so I've, you know, not a lot of female band owners in my business because it's considered the corporate industry. Learned a lot. And then a smaller band is like a 5-piece band. It's a much smaller band. And so that's the main one. That's my main source. It's what I do most of the time. I do have a show, and under that umbrella of Heather's Entertainment, I do a show called Hot Butter Soul, which is dedicated to my dad. And I do a lot of the songs that he wrote and produced and performed. I'm actually at City Winery here in Atlanta on Sunday, and I'll be in North Carolina on March the 1st with Hot Butter Soul at this place called Military Jazz. And so I'm still heavily into entertainment. During COVID, I couldn't perform. So when I got my real estate license, and so I think I'm going to get into, I've always loved real estate and interior decorating and that kind of thing. And so I'm pretty sure I'm going to get into flipping homes because that's something that I'm really, really wanting to do. And then of course, like I said, I have the radio show, Dash Radio, and I have which has not actually, I haven't sold yet, but created a clothing company called Clothing Online Boutique called Closet Crazy. Because I'm really passionate about fashion and clothing and things like that. And so hopefully I will get that off the ground this year coming. So those are the things that I work on. But most of the time I'm traveling and performing. Like I went to Raleigh, North Carolina um, last Saturday. I did 2 sold out shows at this place called BU Cafe. It was really fun. And so I still enjoy performing and entertaining. Every now and then I might get a choreography job, like I choreographed for Cool in the Game last year. And so I'm still into entertainment and the creative process. But those are all the things that I do.
All right, and so I personally have a wide variety of I listen to like a wide variety of music. There's like one country artist I listen to, like I listen to a lot of the songs, listen to like a couple little ones by like Carrie Underwood. But probably the song that can still make me cry to this day is Alyssa Lies. And if this ad will just okay. And apparently it's not even starting from the beginning. Okay. Met a new friend just the other day. Playground at school, between the tires and sway. But she came with a tear-filled eye, and she said to me, Daddy, listen. Just rusted old fast, 'cause I didn't know how much my little girl had been hurt. Oh, the things she had seen. When I said you could tell me, she said, it's a lie to the classroom. Every day at school. To the teacher, she to cover it. My little girl laid her head down that night to go to sleep. As I stepped out the room, I heard her say a prayer so soft and sweet. God bless
my mom and my dad. Afraid to listen.